And that what it makes it so exciting as OpenClaw is an open source project is that anyone can access it and anyone can build with it. And it really enables everyone to just have AI work for them.
Okay, so AI is a tool that has come that many people see as an enabler, but others have a lot of reservations. And across East Africa, especially amongst the youth, there is a growing fear that AI will replace human jobs and the like. So we want to find out from you, will AI take jobs away from some people, or do we see a different story?
Yeah, I think this, like, for me, honestly, I get very frustrated when I hear that young people, like, when you're young, you're not supposed to be that scared of the future. You have a unique opportunity right now to go on and learn anything about AI, build with AI. Everything, all the information is available to you. You can fully utilize it to be part of this AI revolution. Obviously, it can have effect of the job market down the line, but now my thesis is that the AI will expand the job market, not shrink it in the next 5 years.
For workers, students and policymakers, it also raises difficult questions. Will AI create more opportunities than it destroys?
Why is it crucial for Ugandan entrepreneurs and developers to build AI tools tailored specifically to the local context, as opposed to downloading apps and pushing applications from the Silicon Valley?
I think you can't really say it like that, because, like, utilizing AI, you don't start building from scratch, right? You're gonna patchwork together whatever you need to in order for you to most efficiently solve your problem. It's all about problem solving, and AI enables you to do that in a very tailored and specific manner. And that is why ultimately every developer right now has to learn whatever they can about AI and build with AI.
But there is another important question. Who is building the AI tools that Africa will use?
So at this stage in time, I would think, like, we first have to focus on more and more people learning about AI and getting to know how AI works and becoming AI literate. That is the number one concern. I wouldn't be too worried yet about other issues that will come up once we have more widespread adoption. But what will be important is, like, already, like, with the digitization, we see a lot of fraud. Now with AI, that is going to be amplified. So creating that awareness towards phishing and other schemes that can, like, become more real and look more real is going to be important for people's safety, cybersecurity safety.
Much of today's AI technology is developed for global markets, but Africa has unique languages, cultures, infrastructure challenges, and economic realities. A tool designed in Silicon Valley may not always understand the realities of a farmer in Uganda, a teacher in Gulu, a healthcare worker in Barara, or a small business owner in Kampala.
Uganda has one of the youngest populations world over. What is your call to action for the youth watching this so that they are able to partake and participate in the future of technology?
So I do absolutely plead with you young people, go online, don't spend your time on TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatsoever. Go online and learn about AI. Learn, tinker with AI, build with AI. It's accessible to anyone. So this is your unique opportunity to be part of this AI revolution, to really set yourself up for the future, to understand what is going to be in the future, but also to build your life. This is a full new economy that is building, and you can be part of it and you can benefit from it. But you have to do the work of learning what it is and how to do it.
Thank you so much, Agnes. It was lovely having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
So now you know what it takes to secure venture capital, the criteria, and how to get started. That is it for now. This has been Business Perspective. We thank you so much for being part of the show. We appreciate your feedback. Reach out to us across all socials. We're using the hashtag NBS Business. From me and the entire crew, it's a God bless, good night. And do not forget to download the MTN TV by Afro mobile application for the best of premium quality content. Let's catch up next week. I am Isabella Tugumin.
NBS. Always. NBS Live at 9.
A very good evening. It does seem like a ladies' night tonight, on a Monday evening that is, but we've got big stories for you tonight, especially looking at politics. If you know or if you don't know, it seems as if the opposition's party president is a revolving door rather. We have Chaguranyi as well as Lena Zadriga, who are out of the country. You have Rubongoya, who's in the mix somewhere in there, and then you have somebody brand new.
Yes, Nambeshe, and we're thinking, has he filled in the position? What position is he filling in? What is he going to do? How is he going to unite a party that seems to have its principle out? Some members here don't want to communicate yet because we've been trying to reach some of them during the day, but we'll wait to see how we'll get into the story.
Is he the one or is there another coming?
And will they unite again?
Absolutely.
What next for the party? That will be coming up. But we also had day one of the crackdown from police and the Ministry of Works and Transport on the DMC vehicles, especially those taxis that you have been seeing on the different roads. That and more will be coming up live at 9 tonight. But first, the headlines.
In the news tonight,
I'm glad that these people who have been astonishing my name are here.
a breakthrough in the Temangalo land saga.
I'll transfer the 10 acres to the fund.
City tycoon Amos Nzei agrees to hand over 10 acres to NSSF and refund money for the 45 acres.
Even if they said they wanted it for free, I would have given it. NSSF paid you. I never even got 1 shilling out of it.
I'm the first chairperson ever to be summoned by COSASE.
Uganda Human Rights Commissioners contradicting statements.
Something going on, so give us a benefit of doubt. Let us leave it at that.
Is this a witch hunt for Wangadia as she tries to believe?
Otherwise, we cannot move like this in this country. I don't know what. That at an appropriate time, you will know the outcome.
The amount you see now, our president is so many miles away.
Fitting in Chagulanyi's big shoes. Just how far can Nambeshe go with this?
Ours was people power, remains people power.
Noop operations in Bukedi
was equally temporarily closed.
Why has the region office been closed?
We are always available to provide guidance.
Will be impounded and parked in designated places.
Clamping down on DMC vehicles, how successful was the operation on day one? Also tonight, audio and video clips played in court in the Besigye treason case.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Sheila Tusiime.
Once again, welcome to Live at 9 tonight. Let's get into the stories. The National Social Security Fund and City Tycoon Amos Nzei have reached a consensus to resolve the controversial Temangalo land deal that had caused long standoff. Appearing before the Parliament's Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, NSSF Managing Director Patrick Ayota said that out of the 55 acres in dispute, Nzei has agreed to hand over 10 acres to NSSF and refund money for the 45 acres at a price to be determined by the government chief valuer.
Officials from the National Social Security Fund, led by Managing Director Patrick Ayota, together with City Tycoons Amos Nzei and his 3 lawyers on Monday, appeared before Parliament's Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises over the controversial 55 acres of Temangalo land that Nzei has refused to vacate since 2008 after selling it to NSSF.
NSSF paid you and you received the money, so the word free may not apply in your submission. Chairman, if you allow me, the 11 billion they keep referring to,
I never even got 1 shilling out of it. I put it where I put it, in National Bank of Commerce. They closed the bank. I even added on 3 billion plus $3 million. That went.
If it has been on your neck for 18 years, why didn't you sort this one before?
If you sold the land, what prevented you to hand over that land to NSSF for occupancy in that period of almost 18 years?
And are you a tenant on the 55 acres where you're still residing, such that we also calculate the tenancy that is due to NSSF for all that time?
Now you bring me up to talk about 55 acres. I'm happy to do whatever you want, but please clean my name.
In the meeting, Nzei first attacked the media, accusing journalists of blackmailing and tainting his name, saying that was the reason he had traveled from the United States to come and defend himself.
I'm glad that these people who have been astonishing my name are here. That Amos is a con man.
Maybe, Honorable Mr. Amos, when you say these people, unless you have the names or evidence,
media.
Because now they have no opportunity to respond.
The NSSF Managing Director Patrick Ayota informed the legislators that in an earlier engagement held on Monday, the fund and the city tycoon had reached a consensus.
Dr. Nzei will transfer the 10 acres of land to the fund. The 45-acre balance, we've agreed that he will pay for them using the market rates as determined by both the chief government valuer and private valuation.
I will transfer the 10 acres to the fund.
Now the remaining...
Then the 45, I said, value it at current price.
You said you can even give that land free of charge. What are you waiting for?
The proposal generated serious debate in the committee, with legislators cautioning NSSF to be careful with the transactions and questioning why Nzei stayed on the land for 18 years after selling it to the fund.
What are you negotiating? You have said your land is yours, and then you are in negotiations. Why? What are they for? NSSF, kindly be careful with this transaction.
Are you fair? 18 years ago you failed to recover, and now you are surrendering what is for the savers. If you have failed, are you being twisted?
And we know you are very rich, but kindly come to this, restructure us as workers of this country. Give us our land, which we paid for.
Opposition National Unity Platform leaders in Busoga sub-region have pledged to use the trust placed on them by voters to deliver effective and exemplary leadership, saying their performance will determine whether the party can consolidate its growing support in the region.
The National Unity Platform made significant gains in the 2026 general elections, winning 8 parliamentary seats in Busoga alongside several local government positions, including the Bugweri LC5 chairperson and a number of mayoral positions. With the party's support, BES expanding, the newly elected leaders now face the challenge of turning their campaign promises into tangible services for the electorate.
Driving the agenda of the party in terms of the values and what it stands for is what everybody is doing right now.
Among those already pushing to demonstrate their commitment is Ginger North Member of Parliament Hussein Muyonjo, popularly known as Swengede. Muyonjo says he has started implementing some of the promises he made to voters, including donating a multi-million shilling water browser to help address water challenges in his constituency.
This is one of the ways that I started with to cover up this issue of water scarcity in the area, but in the long run, we need an intervention. We need the government intervention, national water.
Muyonjo has, however, dismissed reports that he received special government funding to facilitate the projects he is implementing in his constituency.
So people should not get worried that maybe Swengede has been taken by Sijui, NLM and so on. No, I'm still NUP. What is maybe giving people at the time to understand that he have bought a lot of cars. They are just 3 cars.
NUP Jinja District Chairperson Innocent Anyole says the party intends to maintain its presence on the ground and demonstrate that opposition leaders can deliver when entrusted with public office.
So with the leadership of NUP in Busoga, we do expect and we hope to continue rallying the people to see the challenges that they face on a daily basis. And to this, we believe will keep the momentum.
The leaders argue that unresolved challenges, particularly poor roads and instability in sugarcane prices, remain major concerns for communities across Busoga. They say unless the government addresses these long-standing issues, the opposition will continue gaining ground in what was traditionally considered an NRM stronghold.
In Busoga, we identify with sugarcane growing, because a big percentage of our native people and habitants are into that activity.
We want to relate with the oppressed. We want to stand for the oppressed. We want to be the voice of the oppressed, and the oppressed are the majority. So our mission is as simple as that.
For the NUP leaders, the next 5 years will therefore be a test of whether the party can translate its electoral breakthrough into effective service delivery and build a stronger political base ahead of the next election cycle.
Still about the National Unity Platform, 1 month into office as the acting president of the National Unity Platform, John Baptist Nambeshe, faces the task of keeping the party united after Robert Chagulanyi and Dr. Lina Zedigra left the country. Political scholars and politicians say Nambeshe must embrace dialogue and broaden the party's leadership if he is to avoid facing the challenges that forced his predecessors out of the country. They also see his leadership as an opportunity for NUP to recruit conventional politicians who can command wider acceptance among Ugandans.
Tension and leadership vacuum in Uganda's leading opposition party have continued to deepen since the 2026 general elections. It began with the arrest of NUP supporters, popularly known as foot soldiers, and was followed by the departure of party president Robert Chagulanyi, who left the country amid fears of arrest. Dr. Lina Zedriga was then appointed acting president to fill Chagulanyi's position. But with Zedriga also leaving the country after reportedly facing threats, Manjia County Member of Parliament John Baptist Nambeshe has taken over as acting president. Nambeshe, who is also NUP opposition chief whip and vice president for Eastern Region, now faces challenges of steering the party through one of its most difficult periods. But what exactly are the tasks ahead of him? For NUP, the immediate priority is keeping the party united despite pressure on its leadership and supporters.
He has a duty to hold the center together. That means mobilizing the leaders and the rank and file of the party to ensure that they stick to the core goal.
NUP's National Mobilization Secretary, Habib Buembo, says Nambeshe has already started demonstrating the leadership expected of him by engaging supporters on the ground.
He has been reaching out in a number of communities. You saw him representing the office of the presidency in Mbare, that is on the day of Embaru.
But political scholars see much bigger leadership gap left by Chagulanyi, one that may not be easy for Nambeshe to fill. Dr. Daniel Walyemera of the University of Pretoria in South Africa argues that Chagulanyi's celebrity status and personal connection with NUP's foot soldiers gave him a unique political advantage.
Chagulanyi has a following, has a charm, has former celebrity musician, which Nambeshe may not have. And that following, I'm not sure it will follow Nambeshe. That's one. And we saw when Dr. Zedriga was there that at one time she was stopped from entering the party offices.
Kyagulanyi left Uganda amid allegations that security agencies intended to arrest him, while Zedriga also departed amid reports of security concerns. Walyemera warns that Nambeshe could face similar pressure, especially given his political position and proximity to the country's borders.
But Nambeshe himself, not to cut him down, my brother, elder brother, is really strong. He speaks well. He's well spoken. He actually issues with energy, and hopefully he will perform better. But it's a quite a challenging task ahead. Why? Because the reasons that the substantive President Kyagulanyi left Uganda, the reasons why he left Uganda, the reasons why Dr. Zedriga left Uganda could follow onto Nambeshe. Could be the very reasons why Nambeshe also flees into exile. And fortunately, he's near the border.
But for Professor Rogers Barigayome, Nambeshe's survival will depend not only on holding the party together, but also on changing how NUP engages with the state and the wider public.
If he embraces dialogue or common sense politics, then the ruling establishment will have no reason to arrest the few foot soldiers or surviving members who are out of jail.
Well, let's continue on with the national ruling party, the National Unity Platform. Once formidable political machinery in Bukadi sub-region is facing fresh challenges with its regional headquarters in Busia now closed over financial constraints. Party leaders say the closure, coupled with a difficult political environment and the absence of their president, Robert Kyagulanyi, is weakening mobilization and threatening the party's support base in a region it once dominated.
The border district of Busia has for years been a stronghold of the National Unity Platform, one of Uganda's major opposition political parties. In the last two election cycles, Busia has consistently given NUP's presidential candidate a huge support, outperforming other opposition parties and even defeating the ruling National Resistance Movement in the district in the 2021 presidential election. In a bid to consolidate this support across the wider Bukedi sub-region, NUP established a regional office in Busia to coordinate party activities across the 7 districts that make up the sub-region. The office was commissioned by the party president in 2021. But nearly 5 years later, the once busy rental house that served as the party's regional headquarters now stands locked and deserted. Party officials say the office was temporarily closed after the party failed to meet its operational goals amid financial constraints.
Was equally temporarily closed because of inability to meet its operational costs. But we remain steadfast, we remain committed, and we are always available to provide guidance.
Party leaders in Busia say the closure comes at a difficult time for the opposition amid what they describe as a harsh political environment that is already affecting grassroots mobilization. For some party leaders, the challenges extend beyond party office closure. They claim defections have also weakened the party's mobilization structures in the sub-region.
The political party support base on the grassroots is quite huge, but you will not find any at the moment, given the fear that has been inflicted onto the population.
Seen even in the LC1 elections, where many of our registrars were bought off, others
Political analysts warn that the party cannot rely solely on its past support. They say NUP must rethink its strategy, strengthen its grassroots mobilization and embrace a dialogue with the ruling party if it is to remain a major political force, not only in Bukedi but also across the country.
Needs to engage with the current government so that they create attention. The way things are looking at like now is that it is like fighting. You are fighting probably the party in power. The party in power has to fight back.
For now, NUP leaders in the sub-region are urging their supporters to remain united, insisting that the current challenges are temporary and that the party will eventually rebuild itself.
Does this look familiar to you? Well, if it does, this might be good news or bad news for some, because the traffic police 100-day crackdown on cars in dangerous mechanical condition, particularly taxis, has kicked off after preliminary inspections revealed that about 60% of public service vehicles checked recently failed to meet required safety standards. The operation, which targets critical components such as tires, vehicle bodies, seats, other mechanical parts, has seen unsafe vehicles impounded and subjected to further inspection as police intensify efforts to safety on the road.
Kampala City has had an unusual scene with fewer taxis compared to other days. Although traffic police officers were seen in some areas, the vehicles they were waiting to inspect were notably absent. On roads known for having many taxis, such as Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, the number of taxis was unusually low, with only few on the road. Along the Makerere-Wandegeya Road, the situation was not indifferent. Taxis were few, with border borders taking up the parking space normally occupied by taxis. The situation was equally the same on Kampala Road, where the number of taxis was also significantly low. Those with roadworthy vehicles took full advantage of the situation. The traffic police spokesperson, Michael Kananura, says the operation to crack down on mechanically dangerous as planned and may go beyond after finding 60% of public service vehicles in poor mechanical condition. He warns owners of vehicles in dangerous conditions found on the road that they risk being penalized.
All PSV vehicles suspected to be in DMC status will be impounded and parked in designated places where they will be inspected later, and then appropriate action will be taken against the responsible persons.
However, some taxi drivers, particularly those operating in Kampala, say the directive caught them off guard because they were not given enough time to prepare.
etulese bubi nnyo abasinga
bonna baawumudde bali waka naye ekyokulya tekiriiwo.
But while the operation has affected taxi operators working within Kampala, those plying long routes say they have not been affected by the crackdown. The operation, dubbed Ganyaganya, has not been limited to the roads but has also extended to tax parks.
We do have our opinion poll question tonight, which I'm hoping that you get to answer using the hashtag NBS Live at 9. The question is as simple as, what was your experience on today's police operation on taxis in dangerous mechanical condition, or what they're calling DMC? Looking forward to hearing what you had to say and your opinions concerning that particular drive. Now, moving on to further of our stories, the Uganda Human Rights Commission has told legislators on the commission's statutory authorities and state enterprises that negotiations to end the current standoff at the entity have started and that white smoke will soon be out. However, commissioners revealed that some resolutions discussed and approved in commission meetings were cancelled, with new minutes allegedly doctored to serve the interests of the chairperson, Justice Mariam Wangadia.
The first chairperson ever to be summoned by COSASE.
Officials from the Uganda Human Rights Commission, led by their chairperson, Justice Mariam Wangadia, on Monday appeared for a fifth time before Parliament's Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises to account for funds received in the financial year 2024-2025.
So that the rest of the public waits for the white smoke to emerge from the Vatican.
In their interface with legislators, the officials revealed that negotiations have started to resolve the long-running standoff at the Commission and that the public will soon see white smoke.
Are you telling us that mediation is ongoing?
The farthest I can go is that the mediation has started and it's ongoing.
Something going on. So give us a benefit of doubt. Let us leave it at that. We pray it all goes well.
The truth of the matter, negotiations are going on. And as our chair has mentioned, at this moment, we kindly request you that at an appropriate time, you will know the outcome.
However, the calm assurance quickly gave way to serious accountability queries. The commissioners were tasked to explain circumstances under which they passed a resolution to increase their own emoluments, with the chairperson earning 5 million shillings per tribunal session and each commissioner earning 1.2 million shillings.
If it is a sitting allowance, yes, we'll receive a sitting allowance per commission meeting.
Of 5 million?
No, sir.
Of how much?
1.2.
And for the chairperson?
I'm not aware how much she gets.
It was moved by a member of the commission and it was approved by the commission. In fact, it is in that respect that a generator was allocated to me as a backup.
I talked with the former accounting officer. He came very many times crying that he is being pushed to pay money is irregular and she fears for her life that she might face prison.
In the same meeting, Commissioner made a startling revelation on the running of the Commission, where minutes are doctored without their knowledge.
For example, we are here, we agree that this is what we are going to do. It is minuted that Honorable Jacqueline, in her own words, she said A, B, C, D. Then you find that what you said actually was changed by the secretary. Myself, I went there to question why, and she said she is told to you do this, you do that, being coerced and all that. So I agree it's true. I met her and on many occasions, and she told me that she's being coerced.
2 Uganda Human Rights Commission staff were also handed over to CID for allegedly receiving money on their personal accounts.
Let the two personal assistants, as by then, go and make a statement. It will assist us to make.
Broke out between the committee chairperson Muwadan Kunyinji and Kalungu West MP Joseph Gonzaga Sewungu, leading to a brief standoff.
You cannot interface with these people and you think you are going to be the one handling the matter alone. You are supposed to be at the committee.
When I rule, you contact the clerk.
Mr. Chair,
no,
I am
Honorable
insisting, can you direct the clerk to give members copies of what we are handling? Otherwise, we cannot move like this in this
Honorable Sewungu, I don't know what is your interest.
My interest is having what we are questioning.
But we shall not allow you to be tracked.
I have a report of Dr. General's report.
No, we shall not allow you to be
tracked. I don't have that copy for that lady who was here.
Now we turn to political analyst Dr. Gerald Wariche on how the opposition can navigate Uganda's shifting political landscape. Dr. Gerald, thank you very much for joining us this evening. The opposition seems not to have a clear directive. How do they move forward after the elections?
Good evening, our viewers. Truly, the opposition in Uganda is facing a number of challenges. Let me take the example of the main opposition party, the National Unity Platform. There is a challenge both internally and externally in political parties, but it brought an environment which is characterized by crackdown, by arrests, and then failure for them to organize, to recruit, has affected their growth. But also internally, some of the political parties like the National Unity Platform have a history around party discipline, for example, in electoral processes where members accuse the leadership sometimes of bribery, of picking individuals without going through the democratic processes, and then also with the amendment of the Act on Political Parties Funding, there are restrictions, and we can see a major political party like NUP is crippled by funding that they are not able to fund their activities. But generally, as opposition, I think they have failed to get issues that can bring them together to build a broader alliances upon which they can build, either to advocate or to mobilize and move the population to move as a bloc. So, because of those challenges, they need to come up with innovative ways, one, to do an internal analysis of the various institutions as opposition to understand what their weaknesses, even if NUP may not agree with or PFF, can they find a common ground on some of the few issues that can bring them together? And then two is to ensure that beyond government funding, can they be able probably to excite the public and develop methods.
Glitch, the sound is not so good, but we'll be getting back to that interview later on. Let's take a look at the feedback for today. We start with the question.
Feedback brought to you by. In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
We'll look at our opinion question for tonight, and later on we'll be looking at some of your feedback of that opinion question. What was your experience on today's police operation on taxis in dangerous mechanical condition? The hashtag is NBS Live at 9. Let's take a look at some of your feedback. Arthur Kalinaki, Kampala's police operation against unsafe taxis rightly prioritizes commuter safety, but sudden fleet reductions cause severe passenger delays and fare hikes. Enforcement must integrate manageable transition periods to protect both lives and livelihoods. Interesting, that is from Arthur. Derek Taremwa, it was positive. The police operation was timely because taxis with dangerous mechanical faults pose a serious risk to passengers, drivers, and other road users. However, enforcement should be fair, consistent, and accompanied by proper inspection facilities. Operators whose vehicles are genuinely unsafe should be stopped from carrying passengers until the defects are fixed, while drivers and owners should be educated on regular maintenance. Most importantly, this should not be a one-day operation. Regular inspections and enforcement are necessary to reduce road crashes and protect lives. That is from Taremwa Derek. Wogoli Wellington, when are they starting on motorcycles?
More to come, brought to you by
Global Paint! How? For the seating. For us, we use Global Mat.
Global Paint, a reliable product. Access unsecured loans of up to 500 million Uganda shillings plus 6 months of free banking. Ko NCBA Bank, Chigwa Kuwerere. Visit any NCBA Bank branch today and unlock the momentum your business deserves. NCBA Bank, go for it.
Well, COSASA has been doing their jobs for the past couple of months. The summoning of Uganda Airlines, and that is what's going to be coming up after the break. We're going to have a look at that story about audit queries. As you might already know, they've added new areas to go to. They've also added a whole bunch more Boeings as well. So much more to look at there at Uganda Airlines. But all of that and so much more after the break.
Before the medal, before the success, there are mornings no one sees, days you carry alone, days the doors won't stay open, Days you need more than you have. Fighting for something bigger than yourself. In those moments, it is the people that show up for us. A hand, a loan, a door that stays open. A silent push to get you moving again. The ones you don't see fighting for you while you're fighting for yourself. That's what it means to have someone on your side. I&M Bank, on your side.
Hello, Mr. Mkasa.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. Are you the broker?
The original one.
I was told you have very good rentals.
That is right. How many bedrooms do you want?
I want 3 bedrooms.
Okay, did I tell you of the price?
Yes, of course. 500,000.
Ah, no. This side, the salary went a bit high.
Why?
Because the paint we use is of good quality. So the place gained the value.
Which paint?
Global paint.
How?
For the ceiling, for us we use Global Matte. And for the inside walls, we use Global Silk Vinyl.
Okay, tell me about the outside walls.
Outside we use Global Weather Coat Emulsion so that the walls don't peel.
I'm really impressed. The precision you put while painting, I'm willing to pay any amount.
That is true, because here for us quality is paramount and the place becomes humidity.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces invites you to the second edition of the UPDF-CDF Inter-Forces Drill Competition. Join us on Tuesday, 25th August 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for an electrifying showcase of precision drill, synchronized formations, discipline, and military excellence. Under the theme Precision, Discipline, and Cohesion, Pillars of National Resilience and Transformation. Witness UPDF formations battle for the coveted Inter-Forces Drill Championship. Who will take the crown? Will it be the Land Forces, Air Force, Special Forces Command, Field Artillery, Motorized Infantry, Marines Brigade, Directorate of Women Affairs, Military Police, or one of the 1st to 5th divisions? The event will be presided over by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. For more information, call 0392 947 455.
Uganda is moving forward. And at the heart of that movement is the most extensive fiber network in East Africa, with more than 15,000 kilometers of fiber and over 5,000 telecom mast sites. Soliton Telmec is the backbone that enables Uganda's telecom and digital infrastructure, connecting government services, businesses, homes, universities, hospitals, banks, villages, and telecom masts. We don't just build networks. We maintain and commercialize critical infrastructure that supports national development. East Africa's leading fiber company, connecting Uganda with the most capacity. Soliton Telmec, building networks for life.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched, fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
Mala UniPride Bank. It is so easy. You just have to maintain a minimum monthly balance of 100K and we'll give you health insurance for free. The bigger the balance, the bigger the benefits. Visit a nearby branch or call 0800 333 999 to learn more.
Pride Bank. Your growth is our pride.
Welcome back. The embattled chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, Justice Mariam Wangadye, has expressed concern over her repeated summoning before the Parliament Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, saying it could be having a hidden agenda beyond accountability for funds received by the entity. Speaking to journalists shortly after the COSASE interface on Monday, Justice Wangadye said the proceedings appeared to be aimed at publicly lynching her, but noted that she is ready to carry the cross that will arise from the committee's resolutions.
Which was written to me says to consider questions raised by the Auditor General's report for 2024 up to, I think, December 31st, 2025. I leave it to you, journalists, to decide whether indeed the questions which were put to me have anything to do with that report or to do with other things. Or is this a question where an internal conflict within an institution has been elevated to an audit query as to warrant summoning the chairperson of the commission, who is not an accounting officer, to an accountability committee? Is this really about queries arising from the Auditor General's report, or is it about something else? When you look at all the questions which were put to me, are they about the Auditor General's report? So, and like I said, I'm the first, hopefully the last chairperson of the Human Rights Commission to ever be summoned before an accountability committee of Parliament. I was deputy IGG for 8 years. I never saw even once the IGG or her deputies being summoned to appear before PAC or before COSASE. I'm the first person ever. I think this is an ongoing process. The committee chairperson said he's not done with me. He said, as and when we feel like you still have questions to answer, we'll bring you back. So, and here I am. I'm at the disposal of the committee.
British-American Andrew Wilson, who is testifying in court against veteran politician Dr. Kizza Besigye, has played a video and audio recordings to court which he claims formed part of a meeting he held with Besigye as his associate Joel Wakaima. The 3 video clips largely show the lower body of Wilson, who dominates the frame, while the person Wilson identifies as Wakaima is seen in the middle of the frame and Besigye remains out of view. In one of the videos, however, a person crosses the room who Wilson identifies as Besigye.
At around midday, Lutale and Denis Shola were brought into the High Court premises in prison vehicles, with Besigye missing once again. At the start of the proceedings, Wilson complained to court that he had faced online bullying and a barrage of insults which he said had culminated from the picture of him in court that claims was taken by Besigye's spouse, Winnie Byanyima. Shortly after, Wilson presented to court the devices which he claimed had been disguised in different forms to reduce the chances of detecting his activities. These included a power bank, a wall socket charger, 2 wristwatches, a flash disk, and a necklace-like accessory.
These things being said that it has experts both
In the afternoon, Andrew Wilson played 3 video clips to court. He claimed that in one of the clips they were signing a memorandum of understanding, while in the other 2, they were discussing counterfeit currency that was to be supplied to destabilize the economy.
Expendables were the people that would be sent into Uganda.
In the videos, a person alleged to be Wilson covers almost half of the frame, while the person he claims is Besigye remains out of frame. At one point, a person identified by Wilson as a waiter crosses the frame. The prosecution poses to seek clarification from Wilson, who confirms that the person is him.
Who is that person? That's Dr. Bessinger. This video is from after the long meeting. Joe Wakihima, Dr. Bessinger, and Frank Kahiri went out for a discussion.
Notably, there were major complaints from people in court about the poor audio quality, with much of the discussion from the alleged meeting largely inaudible. The prosecution sought ways to improve the audio output, but to no avail.
Because how do we make it more clear? Is it because it's speaking from the TV to the microphone instead of picking directly from there? How best do we make it pick from there straight?
An audio recording lasting more than 2 hours was then played to court, with audibility concerns persisting. After just 45 minutes of the audio recording, Justice Waguma adjourned the proceedings to Tuesday at 11 a.m. to continue with the audio and hear further video evidence.
The Parliamentary Committee on Commission, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises has summoned the top management of Uganda Airlines to appear without fail and respond to audit queries raised in the Auditor General's Report 2025. The queries include huge losses and missing aviation fuel supply contracts. The directive comes after the officials snapped the committee days after receiving invitations.
Following an impromptu visit to Entebbe International Airport, the Parliamentary Committee on Commission, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises directed officials from Uganda Airlines to appear before the committee on Monday, August 24th, 2026, to provide additional information and respond to findings from the visit and the Auditor General's report. However, Uganda Airlines officials have, on the contrary, snapped the committee. The MPs discovered suppliers of aviation fuel without contracts, budget underperforming and idle fleet, among others.
2024-2025 fuel worth $9.292808 million US dollars has the no pricing basis and no payment terms applicable.
The no-show has raised concerns among committee members who have advised the chairperson to take action against the officials. Some propose that the chairperson issues arrest warrants to the officials who have failed to make an appearance to the committee.
They must be made to appear using our rules of procedure.
Like the way you did, as my colleague has said, on Uganda Human Rights Commission, and drag the accounting officer to the committee using your powers. Otherwise, Mr. Chairman, you need to bite.
However, some discourage the practice of issuing arrest warrants. The committee was treated to a surprise when its member, Bumali Mpindi, suggested that the interface with the national airline be restricted from the media. MPs resisted the call, insisting they cannot afford to work in a translucent manner.
We should find better ways of interrogating them without the cameras.
For the nation to see. We are not going to shelter them and their problems, Chair. That one they should know. There is no entity that is above the other.
The committee resolved that the chairperson issues summons to the Uganda Airlines officials to appear on Thursday without fail. The chairperson stated that the Speaker's directive for not any accounting officer to be protected by any office took effect, adding that the current and former accounting officer of the Uganda Airlines shall appear without fail.
The rule provides an order to attend. This is an order, not an invitation. An order to attend, to give evidence or to produce documents before a committee shall be notified to the person required to attend or to produce documents by summons in the format prescribed in Appendix J to these rules, signed by shall accordingly issue summons to Uganda Airlines to appear before the committee on Thursday at 8 a.m. I want to further guide that this summons shall be served by a police officer.
Summons were directed to be delivered without fail by the CID officers attached to Parliament of Uganda.
And well, of course, let's have a closer look to those particular numbers. Now, the Auditor General's report in 2025 has detailed 13 audit queries to be answered by the top management of the Uganda National Airlines. Now, tonight, let's present you with some of those critical audit queries raised that the committee was basically going to base their interaction with the top leaders with. Now, spare parts shortage grounds CRJ 900 aircraft for a full month. If you do remember this season last year in September, we had an aircraft that was fully down, and that meant that our flights were delayed. If you were there, you know. And aircraft 5X at KNP was found grounded through September 2025 during physical inspection of the CRJ 900 fleet. The cause of this was unavailability of critical spare parts. That's what was said. Now, spare parts shortage that grounded, of course. Another one was the fuel part of it. The fuel supplier fines were up to over $1 million. That is exactly $1,781,549 in penalties imposed by MixJet. Aviation fuel supplier penalties from MixJet were imposed on the airline without adequate supporting documentation. Now, the risk of that is that increased exposure to unsupported expenditure is one of the major ones that came out over there. There is much more over there. Unbanked Juba cash now subject to criminal investigation. Now, that is close to $103 million, 491.70 there, unbanked cash. Now, this is, of course, under investigation. It's exposing the airline to some potential financial losses, which is quite a lot of money to have losses over, to be honest. Now, trillions of dollars, or rather trillions of shillings, were actually injected by the government earlier in the year, where total investment was about over 1.9 trillion shillings. That was a capital injection to date. That is a lot of money, of course. Now, recognized as share capital, formally converted only 200 million Uganda shillings. Now, the government has invested that particular amount of money in the airline, yet only a fraction has formally become share capital. It makes you ask a lot of questions, which I think is what COSASE is meant to be doing, asking all those questions. Now, let's have a look at the domestic areas that are facing independent verification. Now, that is some debt domestically over here, about $78 million US. Again, the numbers keep going high, much higher there, and that's about 282 billion. Now, that's domestic areas that have been reported. The office is conducting a separate independent verification of the domestic areas reported by the airline to the Ministry of Works and Transport. That is also quite a lot of money, again, to be somewhere missing. Those are the questions, among others, that the Uganda Airlines is going to be answering before COSASE. But meanwhile, let's go for the spotlight. Now, for our social spotlight tonight, as you might already know, we check what our top leaders are saying in the country. Mohozi Kainerugaba, he says, today I was happy to meet Mr. Germa Wake, CEO of Uganda Airlines, and his team. We are determined to support him and Uganda Airlines to achieve all their goals. God bless Uganda. Let's hope that is good news over there. Honorable Bright Kanyotore says, today I had the honor of representing MAAIF or at the UNCCD COP17 2026 in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, where Uganda reaffirmed its commitment to restoring degraded land and strengthening resilience to drought. Leaders doing big things internationally. That's our social spotlight for this evening. And just like that, that actually brings us to that time where we get to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
If whiskey could talk, Johnny Walker Black Label would sing. With notes that only come with 12 years in a barrel. Sweet, smooth toffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Yenyabo.
You wanna make tasty food and sales. You wanna do that doesn't steal. Kanda de ngano ya nai. Sika de buto wa nai. Nailo agro ya sika. Sika de buto wa nai. Kanda de ngano ya nai.
Cook better, sell better with modern healthy cholesterol-free cooking oil and modern non-sticky wheat flour. Modern Yenyabo.
You need a bigger space to grow your business. You need more equipment to meet demand.
You need to make sure everyone gets paid on time.
In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Have some business banking.
We're not made to be alone. It's baked deep into our DNA, driving us to connect. Because we know that when our tastes are as diverse as our world, the world becomes a magical place. And that when we experience life with each other, everything changes. As the world's #1 vodka, all we do is about that. From shaking up cocktails to a taste for everyone. We've been doing we since 1864. Smirnoff, we do we.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean cleans and polishes teeth for a whiter smile and a naturally fresh and clean mouth. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
In today's world, opportunity is digital. Is your education keeping pace? At Cavendish University, Uganda, we don't just use technology, we're built around it. Our state-of-the-art digital portal and our world-class public health laboratories are your launchpad. Because here, we focus on one outcome, your success. We equip you with in-demand digital skills, critical thinking, and real-world experience. We don't just award degrees, we prepare you for gainful employment and entrepreneurship globally. Enroll with Cavendish University Uganda this semester. Registration is ongoing. Cavendish University Uganda. Your success begins here.
Color your words.
New Tusker Premium Cider. Crisp, delicious apples crushed and blended to create a unique taste explosion.
Are you ready for Africa's biggest honey show? This month, Tunado welcomes the world to the 4th Africa Apimondia Symposium and Exhibition featuring a honey show, apiculture learning sessions and business networking opportunities under the theme Beekeeping for Business and Livelihoods. Join apiculture leaders, researchers, processors, investors, and food systems practitioners from across Africa and beyond. From 25th to 28th August at Africana Hotel, Kampala. Entrance to the exhibition is free. The chief guest will be the Right Honorable Robina Nabanja, Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. The 4th Apimondia Symposium and Honey Show is organized by Tunado in partnership with
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way.
Bureau is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition, a network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
Uganda Warigi has been part of our biggest moments. One spirit, one pride, one UG.
Is that a UG? Yes, it is. Is that a UG? Yes, it is. Well, if it's UG, let's go cheer.
Uganda Warigi, the spirit that binds us.
Welcome back. Let's get into other stories. Chira Road police are investigating the murder of a 21-year-old Nalumia Jovia, a waitress whose body was discovered lying in a pool of blood at her home in Bukoto on 20th August 2026, with investigations pointing at her close associate Rose Turindamkama as the prime suspect. Turindamkama remains on the run as police intensify efforts to trace her and establish the circumstances surrounding the killing. The development comes as police also widen investigations into the death of David Owor, with 2 additional suspects arrested in connection with the case, providing detectives with fresh leads as they work to establish the circumstances surrounding Owor's death and bring all these responsible to justice.
It's alleged that approximately 7 months ago, the deceased Namuwulia Jovia rented a room at the earlier mentioned address. After about 3 months, Jovia received a female visitor identified as Turindamukama Rose, who later began staying with her in the same room. On the 20th of August 2026, the caretaker of the houses received a call from relatives of the deceased inquiring about Jovia, as she was reportedly not responding to their calls. The caretaker, together with the deceased sister, proceeded to the room where Jovia was staying. Upon arrival, they found the room locked. On looking through the window, they observed blood stains inside the room. They subsequently accessed the room and found Jovia lying in a pool of blood. However, her friend Turindamukama Rose was nowhere to be found and is currently being sought.
Voters across several districts in the Ankole sub-region are expressing growing frustration over the unexplained absence of their members of parliament in constituencies at major public functions and oversight ministerial visits, leaving local high-profile government events largely unrepresented by area legislators. Some former members of parliament attribute this absenteeism to a business mindset, arguing that indebted legislators are focusing on paying off election loans, and they suggest that the voters electing business people rather than dedicated leaders.
For a region known for active political presence, the persistent empty seats at official functions have left constituents questioning the commitment of their elected representatives in parliament.
We hope for the better because we are starting the new Sanja. Since we launched Sanja No Sleep.
Defending the absence against mounting criticism, several MPs argue that balancing legislative duties in Parliament with traversing their vast and demanding constituencies makes attending every local event and a ministerial tour nearly impossible.
But of course, when someone doesn't see you on a barrio, on a certain barrio, or in a certain function, he or she will think that you have not represented him or you don't come back to the constituency. These people always have information they want to pass over.
Me, I have a very big constituency. When I'm in Sinjiro North, someone in Sinjiro South may not recognize my presence. Someone in Bukanga, someone in Sinjiro South.
On Monday, we have committee meetings. On Friday, we have committee meetings. On Saturdays, sometimes we have caucus. So you may go to Kampala and fail to get time to go to the constituency.
However, former Boheju County Member of Parliament Francis Mwijiche holds a different explanation for the absenteeism. According to Mwijiche, the missing legislators are largely tied up managing private business ventures to clear heavy campaign debts.
People went to money lenders and got money, and now you expect them to be in the constituency doing what? They are paying back what they borrowed. So for me, I am not surprised that you have members of parliament that are not in parliament, but also not in the constituency.
He blames voters for rushing to vote for business-oriented people rather than dedicated leaders who carry out oversight and are present in the constituencies and offer constituency service once in office.
How did we vote? What did we consider? Many people bought their way to parliament, and so they are trying to get back their money. People mortgaged their houses. People mortgaged their constituencies.
As ministerial visits continue without local parliamentary oversight, community members worry that their regional priorities and development concerns are falling through the cracks, leaving a growing gap between Ankole voters and their representatives.
A new habit has emerged in Acholi leadership, the practice described as gifts and politics, with MPs now buying ambulances, coasters, vans and pickups to serve the electorate. The latest is Kilak South MP Gilbert Olanya purchasing a brand new coaster, saying it is what the voters want. The question though is it sustainable, and are these new priorities for the common voter?
It has become the new normal in Acholi sub-region for campaigns and wowing voters, unlike in the early 2090s, where a politician would ask for votes and promise to deliver services. This time, there's change of strategy, where delivering services means providing tangible things in forms of vehicles. In the recent one is Kilak South Member of Parliament, Gilbert Olanya, who has handed over a brand new coaster to his electorate.
I bought for them a bus of resale, I bought for them tractor, I'm paying many in the school, and I'll continue doing so.
Kilak North Member of Parliament Akola Anthony says most of the things being done are more of a manipulation, but admits politics has changed.
You see, this is manipulating the minds of the voters. If I ask you a question, I have 2 ambulances in my constituency, and you will say I've donated for the constituency. But what is the card reading?
But to me, I look at it, how my people are suffering. Wherever my people want to go as a family, as a group, for any function, they have to hire a vehicle.
A call and governing experts call for immediate sanction by government as they push Parliament for more policy-driven orientation and the work of an MP.
It is unfortunate that we have never organized sessions where you should learn from each other, discuss and do what. People go in orientation. But orientation is telling people how rule of procedure is, how do you move a motion on the floor of Parliament, how do you dress as a member of Parliament, but there is no uniform formula of how you can deal with voters.
Buying an ambulance has never been, I've not heard of a success story where it has been sustained effectively. Because they buy the ambulance, but sometimes fueling is on the person being transported, the patient being transported. Sometimes you also have to pay the driver, and still this is extra cost.
If you buy this so-called ambulance, is it something that voters should now believe that you are so good in providing health services? I think the drugs in the hospital, I think the treatment that are given in the health centers, and that means that very, very strong and effective representation is required.
Now, away from the politics, as thousands raced in the Rwenzori Marathon in Kasese, another desperate race was unfolding off the official route, and that was the race to save a mother and her unborn child. In the Rwenzori Hills, where floods had washed away roads and cut off health facilities, a group of men carried the expectant mother on foot toward Kilembe Hospital. But the baby couldn't wait. What followed turned a simple roadside into a makeshift delivery room, delivering a child whose name will forever carry the memory of the marathon. Here's Linda Ndumami with the story.
2, 1, go!
The Rwenzori Marathon was in full gear. Runners were racing through Kasese, chasing personal records, medals and glory. But high in the hills of the Rwenzoris, another race was unfolding. One where there was no finishing line, no medal, and no stopwatch. It was a race against time. The roads here have been ravaged by seasonal floods, leaving some communities cut off and forcing residents to rely on their feet when emergencies strike. And this day, an expectant mother needed urgent help. A group of men lifted her onto a stretcher and began the difficult journey through the rugged terrain towards Kilembe Hospital. But before they could get there, nature had its own timetable. So, by the roadside, with no theatre, no delivery bed, a makeshift maternity ward was born. A village birth attendant stepped in. Her caretakers gathered around her, and then came some expected helpers, well-wishers and marathon goers who were passing through the area.
As a woman, we have to make sure that our fellow lady gives birth safely and is secure. So right now, she's preparing. Then they put her on a stretcher to carry her back to the mountain.
A few tense moments later, the attention on the roadside shifted to the expectant mother. Everyone waited. Then, a cry, a newborn's first breath, and suddenly the roadside was filled with joy. The baby girl was alive, and so was the mother. And the strangers who had stopped to help did not leave empty-handed. Some marathon goers blessed the newborn with money, turning their marathon journey into an unexpected act of kindness. Naming the baby was almost inevitable.
I guess all congratulations are in order to the mom and marathon, that is. Now moving on, in a bid to strengthen responsible land governance, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, in partnership with Rwenzori Sub-Region local governments and Pelum, Uganda, has launched Land Awareness Week in Rwenzori to advance awareness of land rights. This follows a surge in land conflicts linked to ignorance of the law and abuse of power by influential individuals to evict locals from their land.
Escalating land grabbing and illegal evictions in Rwenzori have left thousands homeless, with ignorant locals easily exploited by powerful speculators, deepening poverty, food insecurity and communal tensions. But in an effort to curb the trend, the Ministry of Lands has flagged off activities for the 10th Land Awareness Week at Kasese Multipurpose Hall in Kasese District, with the resident District Commissioner, retired Lieutenant Joel Walusimbi, decrying the rising land disputes in the district.
And guide our people on what to do. I always tell my people the thing I've told you here, that you reclaim a land when you have a land title. When you don't have a land title, you are just here like that.
Issue of land is not news here. You recall recently we had the stampede, we had a kind of situation where people came from everywhere, coming to our district office and coming there for quite a long period.
The Ministry of Lands has rolled out interventions to address land challenges, including surveying and mapping faith-based institutional land nationwide to shield it from grabbers.
The issue of people who are not the genuine owners taking land that does not belong to them, environmental degradation, land fragmentation, encroachments on government land, the issue of absentee landlords, and the issue of customary landowners who do not have papers. These are all issues that have been identified here.
Kasese High Court resident judge Lawrence Tweyanze said over 75% of the land in Rwenzori is government-owned, leaving little for the growing population, and that some government entities are building on private land without consent is fueling community disputes.
But the question which comes in my mind, have we effectively addressed the land problem? I think it is high time now we come with the land revolution.
Kasese LC5 chairperson Muhindo Elifaz urged government to expedite the land title acquisition process to enable poor landowners secure proper land documents.
To his former boss. What? President Rigathi Gachagua. The president has also accused Gachagua of promoting tribal politics, tribalism and hatred, charges Gachagua has repeatedly rejected.
I cannot work with. The impeachment was a constitutional exercise done by members of parliament. And I think the country now appreciates, maybe, that if that is the kind of person with a kind of divisive ethnic rhetoric, I am sure Kenyans are asking themselves, no wonder he was impeached.
The two campaigned together under the Kenya Kwanza banner, presenting themselves as partners in a political order. But the alliance soon fractured. Gachagua's relationship with the president deteriorated, culminating in his impeachment and removal from office in 2024. Brian Amuai for Live at 9.
Now, that particular story had to do with the political rift between the President, William Ruto, and his former deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, which you've heard right now. Now, let's move on to that particular story that I gave you on Kenya's Ministry of Education, which have called for the expansion of the national music, dance and drama competitions of other East African countries.
For 1 week, Tororo Girls' School was a hub of talent and creativity as students competed in music, dance, and drama. The event brought together 48 Ugandan secondary schools and 685 Kenyan students who qualified through their national competitions. But beyond the competition, the festival offered learners from the two neighboring countries an opportunity to interact, exchange cultures, and celebrate their shared heritage. Through music, dance, and drama, the students showcased both the similarities and rich cultural diversity of Uganda and Kenya. Organizers say MDD competitions go beyond winning trophies. They provide learners with a platform to build confidence, teamwork, discipline, and creativity skills that complement classroom learning.
These children are very rich with talent, which they have come to compete, but in a very healthy manner, that when they go back home, they are able to appreciate that culture of a specific region is worth seeing, is enriching in the way they present certain ideas about environment.
The festival is also being seen as a potential platform for deeper region integration, with Kenya calling for wider participation from East African countries.
I believe that this festival has the potential to become an even bigger platform for East African integration through education, culture, and creativity. We must actually grow and open doors to other East African partners to join us.
Presiding over the closing ceremony, Atima Francis from the Directorate of Education Standards at the Ministry of Education and Sports commended the participating schools and learners, stressing the importance of co-curricular activities in developing well-rounded students.
Preservation of culture is important because that is our identity. And if we do not participate at all levels, even those who have not come here, and we do not preserve our culture, then our culture will be extinct And that's when other vices will come in.
Now to another country in the continent, at least 31 people are dead and 22 injured, 6 critically, after the Dar es Salaam garbage dump site collapsed in Conakry, Guinea. The disaster happened at around 2 a.m. following heavy rain, with police, army and heavy machinery deployed for rescue. Among the dead are a mother and her 5 children, and more people are still believed trapped. Residents say the heap collapsed in 3 stages, burying rescuers as well. Guinea's Prime Minister Oriba visited the scene, pledging rescue efforts, while Health Minister Sall assured medical support for the injured. This is the second collapse at the site after 10 people died in 2017. Despite a government order to relocate, many residents remained. The government had been planning to close the site. Guinea remains one of West Africa's poorest countries, with about half its population in poverty.
Every business begins with belief. The belief that tomorrow can be bigger than today. But waiting to be paid should never hold ambition back. With NCBA Working Capital Solutions, unpaid invoices become opportunity. Because some ambitions build more than businesses, they build futures. At NCBA, we bank on belief, empowering ambition with tailored financial solutions built around your business. Whatever your next move, we are here to help you grow. Access unsecured loans of up to 500 million Uganda shillings plus 6 months of free banking. Kwa NCBA Bank, Chigwa Kuwerere. Visit any NCBA Bank branch today and unlock the momentum your business deserves.
NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Color your words.
Mami!
Wanje sabo.
Ukamotia. Oina kachi. Ha. Kagulinzi tekako. Teka kagulinzi. I want everything, eh?
Okay.
Yes. So, when I pay the time, this will increase my loan limit. Hey, Hemutieni Momo. Madam, remove the food. Put in more meat. Add the meat. Yes. Hey. Now, these are the fruits of paying your loan is in time.
That's right. Every time you repay your Momo loan on time, your loan limit can increase, giving you access to more money when you need it most. Dial *165*5# to borrow, pay back, and grow your limit with Momo loans.
You have juice?
Yes.
Juice in me.
I'm sick and tired of running after the Afro Urban presents Kigali Meets Kampala, featuring Rwanda's Mike Kaihura and Uganda's Cohen JC. Live on Saturday 29th August at Motive Bugolobi. Get ready for an unforgettable night of music, culture and non-stop vibes. Tickets are available now at quicket.co.ug. Powered by Club Pilsner. Refreshingly different.
Says the consumption of alcohol is harmful to your health. Not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Spice up your breakfast with Prestige margarine, easy to spread and fortified with vitamins A, D and E in the original and vanilla flavor, turning everyday moments into quiet indulgence. And now, a delightful new experience unfolds. Introducing Prestige Fruity, a luscious fusion of creamy spread and strawberry flavor, bringing everything you love into one simple, delicious layer. No extra spreads, just pure fruity satisfaction in every bite. Prestige margarine, sprayed it, taste it, love it. Available in all shops and supermarkets nationwide. Distributed by Chapa General Enterprises, located at shop number 3, Rafik Building, Chikuwa, Kampala.
Ready to invest at the Kabaliga Petro Best Industrial Park? Booking your site visit is simple. Step 1. Visit kip.unok.com and click Create Account. Enter your company details and your authorized representative's information, then submit. Your login credentials will be sent to your email. Step 2. Return to the portal and sign in. Step 3. Click Book Site Visit. Select your zone, describe your business and land requirements, then submit your request. You will receive a confirmation with your schedule shared by 29th July 2026. Don't get stuck. Our team is with you every step of the way. Book by 30th July 2026. Site visits commence by 11th to 25th of August. For support, contact support.kip@unok.com today. Invest in KIP. Invest in Uganda. Kabaliga Petro Best Industrial Park, a project by the Ugandan National Oil Company, UNOC.
Business Pulse, brought to you by
In business tonight, Kampala's property market is increasingly becoming a buyer's and a tenant's market with abundant residential stock, rising supply of modern offices and growing demand for quality industrial space. The latest Knight Frank review shows that realistic pricing, location and modern amenities are becoming critical as developers and landlords compete for occupiers.
Uganda's property market is shooting high into 2026, but not every building is riding the same wave. For buyers and tenants, there is more choice and, importantly, more room to negotiate. In the residential market, the occupancy rate has improved to 84% from 80% a year earlier, but this is not a boom in demand. It is likely a story of landlords adjusting prices to meet the market, while tenants take their time to choose. The supply pipeline has also expanded sharply with about 1,800 apartment units expected in prime areas such as Nakasero, Kololo and Naguru, up from 1,200 a year earlier.
And I would encourage a lot of our developers to consider housing, affordable housing for the population that demand or that need it outside of the capital city itself into the commuter towns, because that is where the land is affordable, and with housing comes other spin-offs of demand for retail, for offices and schools, hospitals, you name it. There's a spin-off effect.
The shift is also visible in who is renting and buying. Demand from the Ugandan professionals and returning diaspora is growing, while traditional expatriate demand is weakening.
Therein is an opportunity for growth of real estate investors in these suburbs and in these regions for different uses, land uses, whether it's office, industrial, retail, particularly housing, because there's an acute shortage of housing, as we know, in this country. So there are a lot of opportunities out there in the real estate sector, but we need to focus on where the effective demand is. There is no point developing where there is no demand.
Developers are therefore looking at smaller, more affordable units, flexible payment plans, and even rent-to-own arrangements. In the office market, quality is winning. Grade A offices are now average at $17 per square meter, with occupancy at 87%. Older Grade AB offices, however, are under pressure, with rents falling to about $14 per square meter. And in Kampala, parking is no longer a luxury. It is becoming a requirement. However, industrial property is telling a different story. Occupancy rates remain above 80% in key industrial areas, while modern warehouses command a premium. Namamve is emerging as the bigger mover, helped by infrastructure program, now more than 80% complete. But as oil production approaches, industrial demand is also expected to grow around logistics, manufacturing, and the oil and gas supply chain. But financing remains a challenge. Shilling lending rates averaged at 18.63% in the first half of the year, making property purchases and development more expensive.
Financing is there and it is becoming increasingly available. It's just maybe the affordability of it. But the financial institutions are not averse to lending to real estate development, but it has to be bankable.
Knight Frank believes financing is available, but the modeling and professional services must be used. Still, Knight Frank expects the second half of 2026 to remain active, but with power firmly in the hands of occupiers.
The Office of the National Chairman of the National Resistance Movement is calling for a review of the country's agriculture input support framework, citing rising costs and limited access to quality planting materials. Hadija Namiano, the ONC head, says farmers, particularly those growing coffee, are struggling to afford seedlings at a time when government is encouraging households to move from subsistence farming to commercial production. These want the government to consider a more strategic, region-specific approach to distributing agriculture inputs.
In Uganda today, the cost of seedlings, manure, fertilizers, transport and labor can determine whether a farmer plants a full acre or cuts back on the size of the enterprise. The Office of the National Chairman of the ruling National Resistance Movement, NRM, led by Hadija Namialo, says feedback from its coordinators across the country points to one recurring concern: farmers finding it increasingly difficult to access affordable and quality planting materials, particularly coffee seedlings.
But now we are talking about a season that is yet to begin. But in the actual sense, there are no seedlings. The president and the NADs and the wealth creators, the wealth creation creators before, they used to avail us with necessary seedlings to do the needful or to go in for farming. But what are we going to plant? You're telling us there is no food. You're talking about the market. What are we going to sell?
The ONC says the challenge also raises questions about the effectiveness of productive financing under the parish development model. While PDM provides households with financing to invest in productive activities, the ONC urges that financing alone may not be enough if farmers cannot afford the inputs required to establish their enterprises. The Office of the National Chairman is now asking government to review the agriculture input, support, and distribution framework, with emphasis on affordability, quality, timing, and regional suitability.
We can't call ourselves Pearl of Africa when we still have people dying. Because of what? Because of hunger. We can't call ourselves Pearl of Africa, the green land, yet we are lacking seedlings to plant. We are talking about planting trees. People are not going to eat trees. People need food. And we are talking about, we have already had the national chairman, the president, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, talking about the 4-acre model.
The office is also calling for stronger monitoring to prevent diversion of inputs and better coordination between government agencies, local governments, extension workers, and farmer organizations. With agriculture remaining a major source of household income and export earnings, the office says the cost of production is not just a farmer's problem. It is an issue with wider economic consequences.
In sport tonight, the 2026 Johnny Walker Seniors Open Championship was wrapped up yesterday at Chitante Golf Course, with Elijah Lutu emerging the men champion after carding rounds 72 and 87 for a total gross 159.15 over par. In the ladies category, Catherine Pavi defended her title with a gross of 177.33 over par, having posted 85 and 92 respectively. Action returns on Wednesday with elite amateurs tee-off.
Well, I had to practice and then play, quite a few more rounds here just to get used to the course and understand, which hole, what you need to play, where you can go, areas you need to avoid. So I had to add a few rounds preparing.
The seniors have really enjoyed it. It's been a very testing tournament. It really tested their skills, and it also gave us a wonderful experience. The course has been very good, both the fairways and the greens.
I would like to thank all our veterans, the icons of the sport, the people who have kept this game in the state in which we have found it. We stand on their shoulders, and we're very proud to have, kind of entered their shoes and tried to grow this sport. I'd like to thank all the seniors on that note for coming through and playing this week and showing up in large numbers.
Uganda's para swimmer Husna Kukundakwe made history in Glasgow by winning Uganda's first ever Commonwealth Games swimming medal. Behind that historic achievement lies a story of determination, sacrifice, and family support.
When Kukundakwe touched the wall in Glasgow and realized she had won silver, little did she know history had been made. She had become the first Ugandan to win a medal in aquatic sport at the Commonwealth Games. But behind that historic moment was a journey filled with challenges, multiple shortcomings, and plenty of sacrifices.
Training season was quite difficult, but I knew by looking at the rankings, as long as I maintain my time or possibly even go much faster than that time, I could achieve that. I could come home with a medal. Didn't matter which one, I just knew I could come home with it.
For the 19-year-old swimmer, the road to the podium was never an easy one. There were difficult days, demanding training sessions, and moments when giving up could have been the easier option. But Kukundakwe kept pushing. Her determination has been witnessed by those closest to her. For Ashima Batamuriza, her mother, watching Kukundakwe rise to the highest level has not only been a journey of immense pride, but also one she believes could only happen through determination.
It's been a long journey which started way back when Husna was really little. But we had to, it was because of consistency, determination, that led to the outcome that came with a silver medal at Commonwealth Games in Glasgow.
From the family home to the swimming pool, Kukundakwe's development has been closely followed by Gators Swimming Club. The club chairperson, Paul Nwagaba, remembers the first time he met the young swimmer and the potential he saw in her.
Most of the children discover this when they do physical education at school and when they show interest in a specific sport. So she showed that interest to her parent, who then introduced her to Coach Muzaffar. It's been a journey.
And her achievement has not gone unnoticed at the national and continental level. Commonwealth Sport President Dr. Donald Rukare says Kukundakwe is the perfect example of an athlete who has given everything in pursuit of success.
Husna acts as an inspiration for all the young swimmers who are here today, and I'm sure from here we'll see a number of them one day join the podium at the Commonwealth and other games. So Husna is definitely a trailblazer and an inspiration to the young swimmers who are seeing the medal here for the first time in Uganda. And I'm sure this will help them and inspire them to swim even harder and represent Uganda.
But beyond the medals and the headlines, Kukundakwe remains the same person to those who know her best. Her best friend, Paolo Machirabo, describes her as hardworking and determined, qualities that have continued to define her both in and out of the pool.
Extremely proud of her because I've seen her work hard every day at the pool. She comes early, she warms up on land, she does the proper routines, and she always gives every training session all that she has. So I was really proud of her. And
now, with Uganda celebrating its historic breakthrough, attention has already shifted to what comes next. For Kukundakwe, the silver medal is not the destination. It is motivation to work even harder.
The medal is a motivation for me that I know I can get there. I can get there, and it just requires lots and lots of hard work and growth and, of course, more support from my fellow Ugandans and maybe even sponsors. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next journey ahead.
From a young swimmer with a dream to a Commonwealth Games silver medalist, Husna Kukundakwe has already etched her name into Ugandan swimming history. And with sheer will driving her forward, this is just the beginning of an even bigger journey.
Due to the National Cleaning Day that the government designated for every last Saturday of the month, action in this weekend's Lawi Rodi Sevens will kick off at 10:30 a.m., 1 hour later than the usual kick-off time. This and more in NBS Sport Wrap.
Ian Matsiko, the technical lead on Uganda Rugby Sevens Committee, made this revelation during the pool draws held live on NBS Sport today.
So when kick-off at 10:30, it's going to allow us to play 3 rounds for men and 2 for women.
And of course, the remaining circuits, the goal is now to see that we get into the finals and have a good finish above the teams that we are competing with.
Very tough opponents, but again, it comes back to us, to believe in ourselves, stay composed until the end of the tournament and see what it has for us.
The Lawi Rodi Sevens will be played at the Gulu University Playground from August 28th to 29th. From Hoima, Chitara FC have revealed ticket prices for their forthcoming CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round next month against Mogadishu City FC. The game will be played in the Hoima City Stadium with only 17,000 fans cleared.
The ambition for CAP, of course, is for us to go into the group stages. We know that it's not an easy task, but we believe that we can easily do it. What we need to do is to first finish the first preliminary round. The league, we are still on the league trophy. We know that we have a good team. The past results that we have had in the preliminary, rather in the pre-season, those are pre-season trials.
Meanwhile, the State Minister for Sports, Peter Ogwang, has asked the UPDF Engineering Brigade that is undertaking the AFCON 2027 projects to get the work done before CAF next inspection in December this year. The Minister was inspecting works at Hoima Boma grounds as well as an accident and emergency ward at Hoima Referral Hospital.
In a few weeks' time, we shall have CAF inspectors coming here to check on how we are progressing in line with this project. But so far, I'm very impressed with the work which is going on. Even in terms of quality, even if I'm not an engineer, the quality is extremely good. I have my technical people who guide me in what's happening.
In the next couple of weeks, they will start roofing the dressing room, the main base for the construction of the pitch is already being concluded. That is a sign that we are ready by October.
Boma Grounds is one of the earmarked AFCON 2027 training grounds with works at 50% completion, while the emergency ward meant to ensure safe competition is at 30% completion. Elsewhere, the 2026 Anoka Zone 5 Youth Games are scheduled for 24th to 28th August in Nairobi, Kenya, and Team Uganda for the challenge.
Some already have been selected for the Youth Olympics in Dakar. We congratulate our refugee team and please clap for them because it's not an easy task to come from their conditions.
Our children really are good on the courts. They are fast, they are swift, but what they lack is the muscles and the resilience. And you cannot make this overnight. We have to intentionally work with them to ensure that they don't become disadvantaged.
The youngsters will participate in 7 disciplines including 3x3 basketball, judo, athletics, swimming, cycling, tennis and beach volleyball. Uganda's Olympic Committee has already identified the games as part of its preparation pathway towards Dakar.
Cards because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom! Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelcom.co.ug. Contact us on 020 500 123.
Sometimes escape begins above the clouds, where peace waits beneath the trees. Here, nature invites you to breathe, to reconnect, to feel alive again. Where warm welcomes feel as natural as the forest around you. A sanctuary designed for comfort. And moments made to flow effortlessly. Forest Resort Ways, where nature welcomes you home.
Every business begins with belief. The belief that tomorrow can be bigger than today. But waiting to be paid should never hold ambition back. With NCBA Working Capital Solutions, unpaid invoices become opportunity. Because some ambitions build more than businesses, they build futures. At NCBA, we bank on belief, empowering ambition with tailored financial solutions built around your business. Whatever your next move, we are here to help you grow. Access unsecured loans of up to 500 million Uganda shillings plus 6 months of free banking. Ko NCBA Bank, Chigwa Kuwerere. Visit any NCBA Bank branch today and unlock the momentum your business deserves.
NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Mami!
Wanje sabo.
Ugamotia. Uina kachi. Ha. Kagulinzi tekako. Teka kagulinzi. I want everything, eh? Yes. So, when I pay the time, this will increase my loan limit. Hey, Hemutieni Momo. Madam, remove the food. Put more meat. Add the meat. Yes. Hey. Now, these are the fruits of paying your loan is in time.
That's right. Every time you repay your Momo loan on time, your loan limit can increase, giving you access to more money when you need it most. Dial star 165*5# to borrow, pay back, and grow your limit with Momo loans.
You have juice?
Yes.
Juice in me.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
Ladies' night is over?
Yes.
It's been great.
It's been great. It has come to an end, but we plan for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow on NBS Sport, you can catch the guest Anthony Chukura. I hope I said that correctly, actually. That is correct. The force behind Namongo Blazers' back-to-back championship or champion success, that is, as well as power forward Namongo Blazers. Of course, James Okello will be in tomorrow at 7 a.m. Be sure to tune in there on NBS Sport. They'll be keeping you company.
I'm sure the sports lovers will be there at 6:30 waiting to watch that. Yeah, we've come to the end, and Sibiya will be here tomorrow. I'll catch you over the weekend. Good night.
call it a name. Spade is spade. They smuggled him back into South Africa.
In episode 1, one of South Africa's former counter-terrorism chiefs exclusively claimed the state smuggled a suspected ISIS militant named Abdallah Abadiga into the country.
He was used as an asset. I cannot say which intelligence organization used him, domestic or international. I will go that far.
An alleged intelligence asset who then mysteriously vanished from a shopping mall. The South African Army's Special Forces stand accused of abducting and killing him.
My opinion is that he's gone rogue and they had to get rid of him. Most probably he's laying somewhere in a shallow grave.
Lieutenant Colonel Frans Matiba, a top South African police detective, was tasked with taking on Special Forces and unearthing the truth.
He said, Brigadier, these people, they're going to kill me. I'm going to die.
With my experience, what I saw that night, I was know for a fact it was a hit.
Matiba was shot dead while driving down a highway on August 6, 2023. But who killed him and why?
It's clear that there was people with much higher authorities that gave the word for him to be executed.
I'm never gonna see my dad anymore. Why my dad? Because he was doing his job.
Mayfair, Johannesburg, known for its vibrant Ethiopian and Somali community. The story of Frans Matiba's murder began on these streets. It's where a target of his investigation, Abdallah Abadiga, roamed free, an alleged intelligence asset who went rogue, unleashing a reign of terror on this community. My name is Dino Matani. I'm a journalist focusing on African investigations.